Good afternoon. It's after 4 o'clock, or right at 4 o'clock. I'm recovering rapidly. About a half hour ago, I dropped a solid deuce, proving that my first selections at the buffet were non-frankenfood. And really, everything is acting like I had an allergic reaction to the one thing that I'm pretty sure of is I'd eaten some of that fruit parfait before, but it all appeared to be pear chunks and stuff like that. I may have noticed one, but this one was just overloaded with pineapple. Like just almost every bite had pineapple in it. And I'm thinking that's what it was something closer to an allergy or pseudo allergy or just a chemical reaction. So I'm recovering rapidly. The hot, always, when you're really dehydrated, don't drink Gatorade cold. It's slow to absorb. Always drink it hot. If you're really dehydrated, you won't absorb it. In times past, we were having kind of an epidemic. It was hot. All the old folks in the neighborhood, they were feeding them Gatorade, and I was drinking Gatorade, but it was kind of cool, and I was throwing it back up. I wasn't absorbing it. It would sit in my stomach and then I figured it out. I said, I got to drink it hot to increase the peristalsis. And then when I did and was successful, I called and advised my doctor's clinic that y'all need to be telling those old folks to be drinking and sipping that stuff hot. This stuff is. And I may have mentioned, I actually just ate the 3 chocolate chips. And also, a good friend of mine, he just sent me a picture a few minutes ago. He drove by my spot and sent me a picture of it and said, it looks like everything is still there. I guess he's watching. Actually, everything was still there. And actually, there was an extra white trash bag full of something that I'm going to have to deal with whenever I get there. Somebody probably dropped off some kind of brightly colored blankets or other stuff that I just. If you're going to do that, try to make them black or dark chocolatey brown so I can just put them on the ground to keep my wheelchair from picking up mud on the tires and stuff. And because otherwise, I really can't afford to, keep track of any more material than I have now. I've got everything it takes to survive at 20 degrees for a long time. And I got a spot where I know I can cook up in that corner. It's because the winds are predominantly going to be coming out of the northwest. And that little corner faces towards the northwest and open to the southeast. Anyway, I've been washing some unmentionables. I already washed my rain jacket. It's dripping out. It'll dry in no time. I'm washing my cap because it's been on my head for, getting full of little dry, flaky skin. And you know what? The whole time I've been in here, I haven't oiled myself up once yet. I've got like 2 or 3 tubes of conditioner. I mean, not conditioner, but moisturizer that I'm probably going to take with me so I can put it on when I feel like it. I just don't care about having dry skin. So everything so far is showing. It will depend on the next movement, probably in the morning, I don't think so. That one came out solid and really one wipe, and it really looks like I had a kind of an allergic or pseudo-allergic reaction. It hurt last night, in case you couldn't tell just by my general demeanor. I was hurting. I was really in pain. And I knew from the watering of the mouth that sooner or later that stuff had to come up. I wasn't nauseated or anything, and it wasn't violent vomiting or anything, or none of that projectile kind of stuff like you get with syrup of Ipecac. I don't think there's any poisoning or anything. There was something. The two most likely would be a little bit of orange oil that was on the orange chicken, and the orange chicken didn't even hardly have any, wheat crust on it, or it's more likely the pineapple. One of the final things I ate was the fruit parfait, and then it was just Appeared to be that big scoop that I got was just almost all pineapple chunks in there. I could tell by the feel and the slight. That completely halted my digestion for, gosh, going on damn near for about 4 hours. There was just no peristalsis, no nothing, no. Although I think the meat managed to get through, the duodenum. Some of you pronounce it duodenum. It's duodenum, duodenal approach. So I always chew my food well to mix it with saliva. The first step of digestion. There's an enzyme in your saliva that breaks down starches into sugars, begins the process. And so, especially getting that picture, at least I know, and people have always, especially with my wheelchair there, they know if they've, try to relocate that wheelchair or whatever, I call the cops. It'll be 911, and I'll be requesting cops and EMTs. Although I'm walking pretty good because I've had, uh, you know, what is now actually only 5 days of rest and minimal walking and being able to walk when I decide to. And actually, I'm doing pretty good on. At first, the first few days, I was having trouble getting up out of the chair, getting up and down, getting onto that up and down off that low sofa is still a problem. But I'm doing pretty good, especially compared to last night. I was sick as a dog. I was hurting. My whole abdomen was hurting. Even liver, kidneys, but it didn't really inflame too much. I was palpating my stomach. It's palpating my stomach. That means touching, squeeze, pushing. There wasn't any hypermotility. There's no indication it's frankenfood. Appeared to be a food reaction that falls into the allergy or pseudo allergy kind of range, and it's the most likely culprit is the freaking pineapple. I know to avoid pineapple. I didn't even know it was in it. That especially the scoop I got was, I can't see it because it's covered with the white stuff. I can't tell because it's normally like pears and grapes and kind of that usual kind of fruit cocktail mixture. I'm sure they're getting them in the number 10 cans and stuff. It's number 10's them big ones, the gallon cans. So things are looking good. I'm getting organized slowly but surely. Things washed. I don't really need to wash that heavy jacket. It wasn't dirty when I got here, and I've already sniffed and smelled them. I'm only going to have one bag of really actual dirty clothes. Actually, I'll have to, because there's a little bit of coconut oil on the bottom. I'm going to put it probably in the black. I want that black bag back. Not the one I've already thrown away. It's already out. It's already in the trash. But the sleeping bag that's black, the one that my sleeping bag came in, I want to keep that because that's what I keep my immediate food things in right next to me. Like sugar, the rice, salt, all that stuff right next to the my little camp stove. So I want to thank my good friend who just sent me at 3:55 p.m. sent me a picture. He had driven by it, took a shot, and I told him there was something new there, and that was somebody put a big white trash bag full of something there, and it'll probably turn out to be some blanket that's absolutely useless and bright colored. And it was in a white bag right there. It just kind of killed but I want to thank everybody who respected my property and left it alone. I looked closely at that picture. I even blew it up a little bit, and everything's right where I left it. So that's gratifying. tomorrow, all I got to really do is show up, pull that one sleeping bag out, hang it up on a crepe myrtle tree to let it dry during the day, and I'll be sleeping in it that night. And then Sunday, the days are going to be getting into they're saying they're going to kind of consistently stay in the low to mid 50s for the next about 5 days or so, or before. We do have another little cold front that's about to hit. That's that Pacific low that was coming in, but isn't going to cause any precipitation or anything. But it's going to be down, you know, 34, 35 every night. But my primary sleeping bag is, especially if I'm fully clothed and layered up well on top, I won't even have to bust out that mummy bag. That mummy bag is for below 30. And then that mummy bag goes inside the oversized bag with maybe a plastic bag over the foot of the mummy bag to make sure there's, anyway. Things are going well. I'm feeling a hell of a lot better, in case you can't tell. And things look good. Should go well. And about the only thing that I might do, I haven't had a blowout yet, is it's still cool weather, so I don't know if I'm going to get any more kefir right off the bat. But I think one of my successes has been keeping up the probiotics. I think I'm going to get away from the black beans, though. They just tend to, it always takes me a couple of extra wipes anytime I'm eating the black beans. They're inexpensive and flavorful. I don't know. I probably still will. I'm such a cheap ass, but anyway, 12, 13 minutes. That's enough. I just want to let y'all know I'm feeling much better. Last night I felt like death last night. I was worried. I was worried about having to call ER, and then going to ER, all I really would be allowed to take would be like my emergency go bag. It's got my electronics in it. I don't have that much to pack up. I'm just sorting out. I've already got my black slacks and that 4 different thread colored shirt. I'm going to have to wear that for the first time in 6 or 8 weeks. I'm going to wear that. And then actually this is clean. This t-shirt's still clean. I put it on after a bath yesterday, and I put chemical wipes on before. There's absolutely no odor, so I'm going to actually pack this up with a pair of pants, my new pair of pants that are still fine, and fold them, press them, and put them in a good black plastic trash bag, and that'll be what I'll wear. Craig, probably more of those. I didn't get. He may have been saying inconsiderate. And I want to thank all of you who are helping me, because I need it. It's really difficult on my own. Everybody who's ever slipped me a couple of bucks, it's because they weren't doing that in Austin. They were not slipping me money. They were taking money. Everybody, even people who had good paying jobs and stuff, were like, bum cigarettes off of me. Well, I quit, but hey, could I get us, no, I know what you're doing. You're saving every penny. Instead of laying out 10 to 14 bucks for a pack of cigarettes, you're saving that money to buy your next little, dime bag of meth. You even got a job, and big deal. You're still a meth head. Like I keep telling people, Austin's the only place where people will actually mooch off a one-armed man in a wheelchair. People with jobs and housing will mooch off of a homeless, one-armed cripple. I'm not just talking about me. I'm talking about like the guys that hang around, like the intersection of, I've personally watched it. Empiricism at I-35 and 38 and a half street. There were a bunch of guys in wheelchairs that were all crippled up and stuff. And And there were just a whole bunch of meth heads that hung around them all the time, just mooching them to death, running errands for them, and always keeping the change. Austin's a sad, fucked up place. Have absolutely no intention of crossing the city lines in there again. I have no time in the foreseeable future, because even Greyhound, I can think I can get on Greyhound here. I don't know, since they moved the station, but Greyhound used to stop here in Round Rock instead of going to the southeast side of Austin where the Greyhound is moved to. It's about the same price to go by Uber to come up here to Round Rock Greyhound if I decided to take off somewhere. I wouldn't go down to the southeast side of Austin unless I was trying to. And why the fuck would I want to go towards Houston? Although that also goes to, actually, you have to go to San Antonio first before you can go to Houston. But the fares are real cheap. I think it's only like $36 for the whole trip. And you try to go from Bryan, it's only about 90 miles to the Greyhound station. They'll get you for about $70 for a 90-mile trip. Anyway, I'll let you go. I just want to let y'all know I'm feeling better. I'll be out of here on schedule tomorrow. And I've got to get back out there and tolerate another week of cold. But it's not going to be as cold or bad as it was this week, and no rain. That was the critical thing. Last night would have been a death blow to me. Trying to keep dry and keep fed and stuff, and all that wind and wet. Because yesterday it rained for starting by 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon. It was already light rain, then proceeding to moderate rain and stuff until the wee hours last night. I would have been just fucked. Everything would have got wet. Well, I could have pulled out a tarp, but I might have stayed dry, but I would have been starving to death because cold weather increases, everybody knows cold weather increases your hunger. Anyway, I'll let you go. I was just checking in and letting you know I'm doing much better. So thanks for all the comments, all the positive vibes that were sent my way, and I want to thank Craig for driving by and sending me boy, it was so good to look and see. But I really didn't think anybody would. This is not my first time. Everybody leaves my stuff alone there. People know I'm harmless. I mean, really, what can I do? Why do you think so many people sit in their car and they send their children to come over and bring me stuff and stuff like that? If I was some kind of bad person, they wouldn't let their small children that close to some ogre. I have now 540 some days I got to do a count or more of exemplary behavior in Pflugerville. I'll see you guys later.